The Candidate's 7 Deadly Sins, Using Emotional Optics to Turn Political Vices into Virtues. Written by Dr. Peter A. Wish. Narrated by Lee Jagow. Forward. There are 3 distinct times during a presidential campaign when candidates have an opportunity to make a significant impression on voters and move the dial of public opinion in a significant way. Their announcement, the debates, and, if they're the nominee of their party, their speech at the convention. Before their convention speeches, it is traditional that they're introduced with a short biofilm. It was my job to produce that film for George W. Bush when he ran for president in 2000. Voters in the Republican primary who'd voted for him had a pretty good idea about who he was and what he stood for. But all that the rest of the country knew about him was that he was born the son of a former president. The film was a pretty big deal for the campaign and a huge responsibility for me. So imagine the reaction of the future president and campaign staff when I intentionally left a scene in the film where Bush completely mangled what he was trying to say, even though I had another perfect version. Here's what happened. I was filming George W. and his wife Laura at his ranch. Because he was not very good at reading a script, I was conducting interviews to try and just get spontaneous natural moments from him. I asked a question about the birth of their twin daughters, and he just completely mangled what he was trying to say. He and Laura cracked up laughing, as did the film crew. We went back and re-recorded the line, and this time he got it just right. A few weeks later, we were editing the film together, and we got to that section with the bad take, and I said, "Take it out and put in the good take." The editor did, and we started to move on. Then I reflected for a moment and said, "I've changed my mind. Put back in the scene he screws up." The editor was a bit baffled, but not nearly as confused as the senior staff of the campaign. They thought I'd lost my mind. "McKinnon, are you kidding? You're intentionally having our guy screw up in a film we control and are paying for. What are you thinking?" I was thinking that the moment was real, that it was human, that it was vulnerable, that it showed he could laugh at himself and not take himself too seriously. Most importantly, it was authentic. People could relate to a guy with imperfections. Finally, I said to my colleagues, "Let's admit the obvious.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?